programs. My name is Danny Lay. I work in the state 4-H office as the 4-H STEM specialist. So basically anything that falls under science, technology, engineering, or math, which is really quite broad, usually comes across my desk. And I'll be co-presenting today with Adam. I'll let you introduce yourself.
Thank you. Good morning. I'm Adam Shanks, and I took on this role as digital ag curriculum lead about 2 years ago. So I work in the A&R office, Ag and Natural Resources office, but I'm a statewide appointment. So anywhere in the 92 counties where they want to talk about digital ag programming or digital ag teaching as it relates to agricultural natural resources, that's where I kind of fit in and help with those programs.
Perfect. And before we get into some of our digital ag programs, we did want to just circle back to Purdue Extension. Many of you are probably in the College of Agriculture and familiar with Purdue Extension, but you might not be familiar with all our programming's areas as well as the reach that we have. So to get started, we're going to switch windows, a little quiz. So if you have a device with you, go ahead and pull that device out. And you can scan this QR code or go to joinmyquiz.com and enter that code. So this will test a little bit of your understanding about the structure of Purdue Extension, our reach, our impact, and the breadth of our programming. Got a couple of people joining. I think you can customize your little quiz avatar as well if you want to get creative. I haven't figured out how to give them hair yet though, so I think everyone might be bald, or you can add a hat with these avatars.
Oh, it's fuzzy. I may have to get closer. It's kind of fuzzy. So, you just want to.
So I'll see some scanning. Give it another second. And so this is a little bit gamified, so there will be a high score. So you want to answer quickly and answer accurately as well. All right. Everyone good? Yeah, it's starting. I'm just letting you autoplay through it.
Oh, dang. I did all of them.
Someone named themselves winner bold, and you're doing well.
Oh, shoot. Sorry.
Hey, there we go. Yeah, I'm up there at the top.
You want
Not I.
That's it. The 6 ones coming, you found it.
Yes.
So it's.
Insert one already. Introduction, you gave them a nugget, I guess.
Oh, you did, yeah. Question number 2.
It's great. I don't even have my phone off. That's right.
Darcy's sitting at 75%.
Oh, my name's on there.
It's not a great grade today. But by the end of it, if we test it again, I'm sure you'd be.
You passed your drug test with that. You gotta have 70%.
Don't get credit in grad school for it. Give it a couple minute or two more for everyone to make it through. Looks like it might. It's been done. So we have our winners.
Oh, Bill, look
Nice.
at you.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Skirt off.
We should have.
It's
I
fine.
always saw.
You got a skirt on.
So we'll go through some of the questions. So what's the primary purpose of extension? This one's a little bit open-ended, so great results here. Translate research for the public. I love that. Outreach, educate, research findings with growers and stakeholders, assistance with stakeholders, youth, extend knowledge. Perfect. And then we do have 4 areas in extension. So you're most likely familiar with ag and natural resources that Adam works in, and 4-H and youth development. Those are usually kind of the higher constituency portions of it, but we do also have educators in health and human sciences as well as community development. Okay, everyone got this right. Great. We are part of Purdue University. So we are the connection from Purdue University to Indiana's communities, not a separate entity. You all are right on it. We don't just work with rural communities. So this one, 92 counties in Indiana, and we have an office in every single one of them. So that county-based presence is important for us. So we don't just have a presence everywhere across the state. We really do have that presence everywhere across the state. And then this one. So I didn't have the 2024 data, but you can see A&R over 5,000 programs offered in that year. So really huge reach and a great way to disseminate ag and natural resources information. And then youth. So last year in 2024, 4-H had a touch points with nearly over 200,000 youth. So huge impact. We have about 50,000 community club members across the state, but this is through school enrichment, after school programs, camps, and whatnot. This one was one of my favorite questions. Not only do we have a big impact in extension, but our stakeholders really trust us. And you can see that, I think, with this stat that farmers are looking to extension professionals for input and to get that basis. And we see that across the program areas. Our specialists, our educators are sought out experts. And that is only because we work with campus professionals as well to be able to have that information to give to our different stakeholders. And then an important one, you don't have to be extension faculty to collaborate with specialists and educators. We welcome faculty from all across the university to work with us. We do have faculty from across the university and staff who work with us, extension appointment or not. Think about us as your engagement arm for the most part. So great job. We'll switch back to. So again, our mission is enriching the lives of Indiana's communities. Really, it's delivering research-based information through programs in those 4 areas that we had before. So now that you have a little bit of a background on Purdue Extension and maybe learn some new things, I'll turn it over to Adam to talk about some of our digital ag programs for general audiences.
Thank you, Danny. That was fun. I liked that game. That was interesting. Good way to get audience engagement. So I'm just gonna highlight a few of our bigger programs within digital ag and A&R that have gained some momentum over the years. We have this UAV signature program that was developed back shortly after the initiation of UAV pilots licenses, so in around 2018. And this actually has grown to become our #2 highest revenue generating program for A&R. behind Master Gardeners. So obviously Master Gardeners is a huge machine of a program, a lot of participants. And this one is actually tucking in nicely in second place. So that's pretty exciting. We've had thousands of people go through this. We've got an over 90% pass rate of people that take our class and go get their UAV license. So that's been a tremendous feather in our cap. So people around the nation are actually looking at this program and how they can develop it and implement it. There's not a lot of universities that have this through the extension program to be able to offer people. We are reviewing it, obviously, if in the technology world, 2018 program is pretty old. So we are reviewing that, going through, updating some content, adding some new regulations, putting in some updated pictures of UAVs and some of the new imagery we're able to capture. So that's currently under review and we'll be rolling it out here hopefully in the fall. The current program is a 2-day program. So the first day is very heavy in FAA regulations. And the second day is more kind of information. And then we also have a flight lab. So we go out for a half a day and the participants get to fly different drones and experience stick time before they have to actually make the investment. So it's been a very big success that way, but 2 days is a big commitment. So we're trying to figure out how maybe we can condense that into a 1 day with maybe a half a day optional if somebody wants to come and do the flying or any of those other options. So trying to make that a little more efficient for folks. And the fun part is this is offered across the state, but we also have individual entities that hire us to come in for their agencies and do this training. So like we have Bloomington, Monroe County, Indiana has an RAMC that they use drones to do a lot of their inspections of their power lines and those kind of substations. And so they have us come in at least once a year and train a group of about 30 people to get their drone pilot's license. And then Nature Conservancy as well. They have a big push for being able to do scouting and operations with drones. So they hire our services to come in and teach their group of people what they need to get their drone license. Currently under development, and Dennis is probably tired of hearing that, but a data analytics signature program that we're trying to get put together and rolled out. I think all the content is there. Just as soon as I think that, I come up with something new I want to add. So that's kind of been the delay. But we're looking at how we can teach folks to be using Google Sheets to enhance basically their daily lives. We've decided to use Google Sheets because it's available anywhere you go, right? You can pull up Google Sheets on any device and not have to have an Excel file or something like that on a drive. Google Sheets are free. It's a little bit different platform, a little bit different language than Excel, but functionality is very similar. So we can walk through with folks how we can gather data, clean it, analyze it, report it. And then we can, at the end of the class, have them develop a decision-making tool, given XYZ inputs. You know, we get ABC exports and what kind of decision can we make with these tools. It's going to be a combination of lecture and hands-on activities. So we'll be working through the Google Sheets as we are teaching. One of the big things, I did work through the Google Data Analytics certificate program over Christmas break. Pulled a lot of really good screenshots and information PDFs off of that. So I'm trying to sort through those and integrate those into this training because there was a lot of rich material there that we can enhance that program. But then we've got things, you know, like, okay, well, if I want to figure out a standard deviation or build a pivot table, I can upload this to XYZ AI and generate that. Why do I need to understand how to do it? Well, as we learned in the first one of these sessions, you can put the same data and ask the same question to different tools and get different answers. So I think it's good to have that fundamental understanding on the backside of how to get those answers. And then you can play with AI to make sure that you're getting accurate information. We are currently working on and in the final stages of a spray drone signature program. Anybody heard of spray drones before? They're kind of a big thing right now, and there's a lot of legislation and a lot of legalities to operating these, so folks can't just buy a spray drone and go start applying products to their crops. There's some things that need to happen, so we're working through processes on how we can educate people how to navigate those steps, how to navigate the FAA requirements, how to navigate the Indiana State Chemist's Office requirements, and ultimately how they can have a spray drone business and be successful at it. We did have one publication just released, the PPP 154. It's a whole drone publication from camera drones through spray drones. I've got those with me. If anybody's interested, I can hand you one of those. Then we've got another one under review right now. It's under national review currently, I believe. And that's going to just be if you're going to spray with a drone for private. It's kind of a flow chart. This is what you need if you're going to spray with a drone commercially. Another flow chart. This is what you need. So we'll have those printed and available to hand out here soon. So we've also got this digital ag van that you may have seen running around. It's actually parked out front here if you're interested in seeing it. It's been around the state now for about a year, going to different events, field days. It's been Indiana, Ohio, Illinois, Michigan to different events. This picture at the bottom left is at Fair Oaks. They love having us there to do educational opportunities with the folks visiting Fair Oaks Farms. We go to a lot of ag days at different counties, and then schools also like to have us come and do different events based around STEM or technology there. So this is a kind of a rolling classroom, if you will, but I guess my ask is in bold there. What should we have on board? Obviously, I've got thousands of dollars worth of drones. We've got flat screen TVs. We've got everything on board we need to put on a program, but what kind of digital tools or what kind of things do we need to have on board to help move this digital education forward when we're out in the communities? That's what I'm asking from you guys. If there's something that we need to be putting on there, whether it's a weather station, or if we have some soil moisture sensors or some kind of niche new innovative tech that we can have on display and talk about when we're at these events. That's the purpose of it. That's the value, and that's what we need to keep it moving forward. I want to talk just a second on Purdue on the Farm. So the statistic that Danny actually shared about the farmers seeking information, I think came from our Purdue on the Farm report. And so this is a fairly new collaboration between campus and the county. And what we're really trying to drive home, is how we can build and enhance our relationships between Purdue Extension, and the farmers and constituents in the county. So each county ag agent has the opportunity to work with a couple of farmers. Does anybody work with farmers in here? Much, yeah. Do farmers try things? Do they just do the same thing year in and year out? No, farmers try things, right? Well, they don't have to be randomized, replicated research type trials. Farmers are trying things. So this is how this was developed. How can we take our knowledge from specialists? How can we integrate our UAV team? To capture imagery? How can we take what these farmers are already trying, come alongside of them and enhance the information that they get from that trial? So this was the birth of the Purdue on the Farm program. It's evolving as it should into being able to get farmers into doing those randomized, replicated, actual research trials on their farm that Sean and Dan can then take that data and culminate that with our PAC data to have a bigger impact on our state and with the data we're collecting. So if there's anything that you would like to see or do out in the counties with regards to trials or research type things, this is where Purdue on the Farm really shines. We've got a director that actually lives in the Ag Admin building, Scott Gabbard. So we can hook up and get connected to try to move that needle forward with doing trials and being the outflow of information. But it kind of goes both ways, right? To get information out, we really got to have good information coming in and getting Purdue on the Farm across the state, bringing that information in, it's going to be huge. So here, yeah, this is just kind of the connector. So farm, research and extension, you know, it's the triangle and everything flows both ways. We all need each other to succeed. Another thing that or initiative that we do here on campus, if anybody's interested in being part, or if you do use UAVs, we have a course for college students. We offer it in the spring semester. It's basically our UAV training program. We offer as the semester long course to the students. We basically give them everything that they need to know for their 107, and then we also have industry experts that are using this technology every day. They have them come in and talk to the class about how they use drones, how they got started, answer questions. Really brings to life the use of drones in industry. We do have a combination of labs and classrooms, so we have a lab where they work on doing flight planning and analyzing that data that comes back. We also have a day where we travel out to Acre and let them experience all the different drones that we have flying and applying and doing different activities, both manually and autonomous. So we're working on that. They actually take an in-class 60-question FAA exam, so they get really comfortable when they go spend their $175 to take that exam. They're very comfortable with how that setting works and being able to pass that. And we're currently working to generate. It's been a 598 course for 5 years, so we're trying to actually get it a permanent home and a permanent number for next year. So that's kind of digital ag programs for adults. We're going to transition a little bit here now to youth. Does anybody have any questions on things that I've covered so far?
Your band have Wi-Fi everywhere,
If I turn on my hotspot.
so maybe still not everywhere. Just thinking like
Right.
that digital tool is like work in the field, as we've done in this series, being able to do a hands-on ChatGPT or build on bullshit, or it might be. Seems like the good candidate for a satellite unit.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Little Starlink thing
Yeah,
on top of the van. Yeah, expensive. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be nice. Yeah, you get down in southeast Indiana, it's. Yeah, even on my cell phone, I'm like, well, hon, I'm going into the hills. I'll see you and I'll talk to you in a couple hours because. Did you want to talk next?
Yeah, I can talk a little bit about this. So digital ag programs for youth, a couple of goals. So kind of at the forefront is building both digital and agricultural literacy in the future workforce. Digital literacy is important for agricultural fields, but also we hope that this program and these programs that I will talk about will support students in translating these digital skills to other industries as well. Manufacturing has the IoT and the digital skills they will need. Forestry has these skills, and so a lot of our programs are focused on introducing the skills with agriculture as the context. The other piece is the agricultural literacy, getting kids from all over this state, whether they're from Indianapolis or they're from a farm themselves, to understand different types of agriculture. The other piece of our work in digital ag is equipping educators and volunteers to teach this. Most of the time with these programs, it's not necessarily the specialists who are going out there. So we have to make sure our extension educators who are in all 92 of those counties who may not have a background in digital tools or agriculture feel comfortable doing that, as well as our volunteers. With 4-H, we have over 10,000 volunteers across the state, and not all of them are comfortable providing this programming. So that's another piece of our work, is providing the training so that any volunteer or educator who wants to is willing to get these programs out across the state. The other piece of our programming is recruiting the future agricultural workforce, making agriculture look fun, engaging, high tech. So we're recruiting students who are kind of in that normal agricultural pipeline, but also showing the high tech data analysis side of agriculture with many of these programs. I'll turn this back. Adam manages this high school curriculum.
So we had the opportunity or the need for a digital agriculture curriculum was identified through several different contacts in the high school and career center arena. And so through the assistance of about 20 educators, this was kind of our COVID baby. Everybody's heard about the COVID babies, but this was our COVID baby. We worked through developing this curriculum that high school teachers and career center teachers can adapt or adopt and adapt into their curriculum that they teach students. And so we rolled this out. It's actually been adopted currently into 18 different schools in Indiana, Ohio, Illinois, and Alabama. We actually have the training set. We have any teacher that adopts the curriculum, we invite them in for a 3-day train the trainer in here in Indiana. So we go through some of the tougher parts. We give them a quick rundown out in the field with agronomy. We spend time with the UAVs, but then we also get into some of the data analytics things with Excel and Google Sheets, QGIS. So we look at doing, the shape files and some of the maps and overlays. So some of the things that, they might stumble a little bit with when they go to teach, those are kind of our focus areas when we come in and have this training in June. And then they go home, and then we have another 4th day that's a virtual option. So if they want to log on to Zoom, if they've had a chance to look through things and ask questions, more one-on-one time. We cover their hotel and their meals while they're here, because there is a fee for this curriculum. So it's just been a really great opportunity, and to help work through advertising or promoting that, we actually are a sponsor. The Purdue Digital Ag Program is a sponsor of the Indiana Association of Agriculture Educators. And so with that, we get to have a booth at their winter and summer conferences to help promote the program and talk to teachers, talk to those that have taken the curriculum and get ideas, and then help connect those folks with maybe be interested in learning more about it, those that are already doing it. So what that looks like for us, there's 8 different units. So we look into soil nutrient management, plant nutrient management. You guys know what these mean. I'm not going to break them down. But IPM, applied information technologies. So where we can look at, they actually get some time coding with Blockly. That's introductory. So they'll make the M5 stick, collect humidity, temperature, and what the third one is, but we have it collecting 3 different things. And then we move into an Arduino ESP type machine where we actually do coding to make the lights blink, make it sense soil moisture, and then to the advanced project where it actually turns an irrigation pump on and off based on if the soil moisture temperature is reading wet or dry. Data management, again, we look at getting into the Excel or the spreadsheet type work. Precision agronomy, precision equipment, and UAV technologies. The precision equipment, they actually have some simulators within John Deere, so they go in and set up AB lines and do automated type simulations with tillage, planting, spraying, and harvesting. So it's pretty robust. There's 8 units, over 2,000 slides that teachers can take and use, and then 93 hands-on activities. Should they choose to initiate those into their classrooms, they've got the opportunity there, so they exist. So again, my ask with you guys, is there anything that we need to be looking at more in depth, or any changes, or if you're interested in helping teach or work through some of this with students, this is a connection opportunity that we have.
So the high school curriculum is just one fantastic piece that we have of K-12 programming, again, geared towards those older grades. But we have a mix of programming that's meant for in-school programming as well as kind of non-formal, that might be camps, that might be after-school programs or workshops. Our colleague Rachel Hazelby, who is the 4-H computer science specialist, she's developed an online ag IoT curriculum for kids. I would say this is upper elementary and middle school works best for this. Uses Microbit. If you're familiar with Arduino, Microbit is kind of Arduino Junior in my mind. It's a little bit easier to use. So she has some modules that guides kids through using IoT solutions to answer agricultural environmental challenges. So the modules are an introduction to IoT, air quality, environmental sensors, and then soil moisture that then triggers automated irrigation. So they're getting experience programming, they're getting experience with circuits, and they're also getting experience with that data analysis in the context of agriculture. What soil moisture level do we need to have? When should we start irrigating? How much? What does good air quality look like? We can introduce different concepts and then they can work through it hands-on. We've done this with in-school groups. We've done it with groups that have come to campus. We've trained a lot of 4-H educators on this as well, but this is a great resource that is available. It's on Purdue Extension's website. You can't Google search it, but it is, we track a link and provide access just so we can get some impact on it as well. But if you have any questions about it, reach out to myself or Rachel. She's on vacation this week. So if you have an immediate need, let me know and we'll get it when she comes back. Extension is in all 92 counties, but there are opportunities for you to engage with extension programs without even leaving campus. I know summer programming can be challenging with the 9-month appointments that are common across the university, but we do have some on-campus programs that are a great way to engage. Now, we've been talking a lot about extension, but I want to shift a little bit of how I'm talking about it. And if you're a researcher, think broader impacts. That's what we are here to do. We're here to educate, but also we're here to help educators, researchers on this campus have broader impacts. So think maybe you're writing an NSF career award and you want a way to engage. We can have the programs built out, we bring the youth to you, and what we want to do is help you translate your research to youth programs. So even if you don't feel comfortable like that, that's why there are people like myself and Rachel who understand both sides of it and can help you translate to some of these programs. A favorite is 4-H Academy. That's our high school 3-day intensive workshop that takes place each June. So we bring about 250 high schoolers from across Indiana to campus. They pick a different workshop. We have about 10 to 12 each year, and they focus for 3 days on educational pathways and career pathways in that area. Digital agriculture is a workshop that we launched last year for 4-H Academy for the first time. And so it gave these students a couple days to understand some of the breadth of digital agriculture, learn about some of the majors, and actually work through some of the technology. Now, we have our schedule mostly full for 2025 for our digital agriculture workshop, which is just a testament to the great collaborations we have on campus. But hold the date for 2026, we already know it. And so if you are interested and want to teach, go ahead and put that in your calendar. We do have other workshops though. I manage a science and flight workshop that focuses on aviation and aerospace, as well as a climate, weather, and emergency preparedness workshop. So we have a couple of crossover pieces with digital agriculture that I'm still looking for people for 2025. So if you know about monitoring weather, building a weather station, we love to have a campus personnel come and engage with this group. Climate smart agriculture, if that's your area, we are looking for some contacts to lead some sessions this summer, as well as UAVs. What these sessions look like, they're tours, they're hands-on activities. We try and stay away from the lectures just because it's summer and you don't really want to come to campus just to sit in a classroom, to try and make it fun and engaging. To give you a taste of what this is, last year, this is what we had in our digital ag workshop. So we started with a food security workshop that was led by ASEC. We looked at digital agriculture in the context of livestock production. We had some great student groups, the Digital Ag Club, and some students from IoT for Ag help us out and lead hands-on workshops with PFAS or with soil moisture sensors. Adam helped out, did a spray drone demonstration out at Acre. And then they also toured the phenotyping facility on campus as well. So you can see engaging hands-on and really getting a wide view of what digital agriculture looks like. We also have a AI Teens as Teachers program that was just launched, and this is also led by Rachel. It is what it sounds like. It is teens who learn AI content and then they go out and teach adults and younger youth in their community about how to use AI. So they're looking at how do you use large language models, they're looking at AI ethics, and so this is a statewide club, usually for grades 9 to 12, but I think there are a couple 8th graders in it as well. And so agriculture here provides a context for learning AI. There's a really great activity that Rachel has developed that is thinking about AI for identifying pollinators. There's 2 wonderful AI teens as teachers who helped out in the event recently and talked to all sorts of youth at the Indiana State Museum about what AI can do and how it supports agriculture. And as you can see, there are a couple other modules. So AI has been a huge tool in digital ag. It continues to be, and we want that future workforce to be prepared. And what better way to learn content than to be able to teach it to someone else? So this is really getting a lot of these teens comfortable with AI and also talking about it. We have another on-campus event each year, and many of you, if you were 4-Hers, could have gone because this is our 105th year of 4-H Roundup this summer. And so this is a middle school program. Don't let that scare you though, it is really fun. We used to have trouble recruiting people for middle school less so than high school, but they are a great group. So we bring about 400 middle schoolers to campus each June. We will again this year. We offer them, instead of a deep dive across 3 days, we know that they don't necessarily know what they want to do. So during Roundup, they take 3 one-hour career exploration classes that can vary across topics. And then hopefully by the time they come back for 4-H Academy, they have a better idea. They want to choose to have a more intensive experience. So again, we have fantastic support on campus, and I've reached my max capacity for career exploration classes for 2025. But you'll see the 2026 date is June 25th. So save that in your calendar because we would love some more digital ag to be incorporated in this. What we do have space for is we are looking for presenters to host tabling activities as our youth are checking in, focused on digital ag. So that will actually be June 23rd this year. So we do have some spots this year. Youth will be coming in, again, as we're managing 400 youth moving into McCutcheon Hall. We can't deal with all of them at one time, so we're looking for we're not that good yet. We're looking for some digital ag and other campus professionals to engage them and offer some hands-on activities. Here are some digital ag titles we have for this year. So you can see, again, pretty wide. Drones are always a hit. We have some horticulture and landscape architecture coming in, and then another group I think is going to tour the phenotyping facility this year as well. We also have a state 4-H UAV drone competition each year, usually held in Madison County. This is led by our colleague Bill Decker, who was an extension educator, has now moved into the state 4-H office. This is using Tello drones for grades 6 to 12. And 3 big challenges here. They fly a fixed obstacle course. They take a quiz that's based on the FAA test. And then they also program the drone. So they work usually in clubs or workshops to get prepared for this competition, and then we host this statewide. So again, you can see lots of different programming, might be summer programming, might be after school programming, and then some of that in school as well. So this is another kind of born out of COVID project that's still in development, but we're hoping to launch some of it for the 2025-2026 program year. So during COVID, a bunch of specialists and educators worked together to think about how would we make a digital ag 4-H project. If you've been to a county fair, you're likely familiar with some of the 4-H projects. And so for about the last 5 years, the 4-H digital ag project was being developed. Before we rolled that out, we met with extension educators in the fall. And what they told us is, we don't want a project, we want clubs. And so we heard that and said, okay, we will pivot and make them club experiences. So instead of your standard 4-H project showcase it at the fair, they wanted something a little bit different. And so we've been adjusting what we're doing and delayed the rollout a bit so that we can meet the programming demand of those who are offering programming. So these digital ag clubs will be broken up into different age groups and will follow a sort of set program format. They'll start with some online self-guided modules. This has been developed out of all that information those educators and specialists collected during COVID. Our instructional designer in Extension, Nathan Hilliard, has worked to translate those to a really engaging online format. Once we do that, we'll follow up with in-person hands-on experiences that are led by facilitators. That's the club part, where kids are actually meeting, they're getting to test out some of this technology, they're exploring different things in a group. And then last is, because we need a competition, some sort of culminating showcase opportunity outside of a county fair where the kids can come together and interface with industry and academia, judges, and really talk about what they've done in these clubs. So it has some aspects of a project, but is meant to be a bit more collaborative and provide a couple more touch points. So we've broken this up into grades. The hope is that you join in grade 3 and you're with us all the way through. So grades 3 to 4 will be an introduction. We're calling it Digital Ag Me. Grades 5 to 6 will be UAVs. And then grades 7 to 8 is going digital with horticulture and landscape architecture. So kind of a different side of digital ag than we usually see, not necessarily that field crop production. And here's my ask. So in grades 3 to 4, we have that online curriculum developed, but what we're doing is developing the in-person hands-on portions. And one of the best ways that we can help kids see the career path they might go into is kind of personalizing it. We need a face, we need a name, and we need a story to go with these hands-on activities. And that's what I'm looking for. Our digital ag professionals, researchers on campus who can tell us a little bit about their research, and we can develop an activity based on it. And kind of put a face and a name behind digital ag for the kids. So hopefully they can see themselves down the way in the field. And so we are working on developing those hands-on activities as well as the showcase. So if you have any ideas, hey, I have this really great research project going on, we would love to hear about it. Again, we'll have to spin it down to grades 3 to 4, but that's what we're here for, is to translate that research into a youth program. And then my other ask, we have a phenomenal PhD student in ASEC, Spandita Mukidi, and she is leading the curriculum development for that grades 7 to 8 that's focused on horticulture and landscape architecture. She's got a great outline that she's developed for this curriculum. And right now, what we're looking for are professionals on campus who are willing to be featured in instructional videos as we develop the online portion of this curriculum to maybe show off some of their work. Maybe it's a horticulture project, maybe it's a landscape architecture project. We also want them just to kind of provide those stories again that are so important for personalizing these career paths and helping kids see themselves in it. And also to provide a feedback. Spandita and I are both not landscape architecture and horticulture experts, so we just want someone to double check behind us and make sure that we are getting the necessary skills and concepts in for these students. So a little bit of a background of what that might look like. Digital tools is broad. So we have some sensors, some remotely sensed imagery coming into this curriculum and the analysis of those to do a site conditions analysis. We're also thinking more broadly about digital tools, digital presentation tools, going from making a poster at home to being able to present in digital formats. Also modeling tools. How can I display my design using 2D or 3D tools? And so we're really kind of stretching what digital looks like and incorporating many different skills, both technical and more communication side. So lots going on in Extension. Hopefully something there is a way that you might be able to collaborate with Extension. Our emails are here. We're happy to answer any questions. And I think the digital ag van is here
It's out front.
as well, if you want to take a peek at that.